Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you very soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Your enthusiasm is overwhelming.
I've got to be cool and mysterious for the camera.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Hi and welcome back. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that this is my turbocharged Delorean. And in one of the recent episodes, I said that unfortunately, to be able to get it up and running and started, we're gonna have to take the whole engine and gearbox out because there's a couple of things missing on the car and they're not really accessible from the back where we're working at the moment. By the way, this is my mate's son, Fionn. When he found out that I was gonna pull the engine and gearbox out, he asked if he could come on the channel and get involved, and having an extra set of hands is always very, very useful. So today we're going to be working on this together. Now, if you haven't watched the channel before, this engine, which is a period correct engine for the car, is from a 1985 Renault Alpine GTA Turbo. This was actually being tested by Renault for Delorean, for the next iteration of the Deloreans, which was going to be built with turbocharged engines, and the car never got produced apart from 2 twin turbos. Now, it wasn't a straight fit. I assumed because it was the same block it would just go in, but we've had to make engine mounting brackets. It's had a whole new exhaust system. Obviously it's got a turbocharger, so it has to have all the turbocharging pipes. And as you can see, there's no intercooler. The intercooler needs to be fitted, but there's a lot that needs to be done. But at the moment, because I put this in just roughly last time when I was putting it back together again, there's no gaskets on the exhaust manifolds. There's no starter motor on it, which is quite important if you want to start it. So we've now got to take the whole thing out, fix those bits, and put the whole thing back in. And that's what we're going to do now. Right, so the first thing we need to do is remove the turbo hoses, and then we need to disconnect the water system. Then we can move on to the exhaust system and the turbo. We can then remove the chassis rail from the back of the car, and then we can start making sure that the electrical system is disconnected and none of the wires are hanging down and likely to be snagged when we move the engine and gearbox out of the car. It takes a bit of time, but actually it was probably about an hour to get the car ready for the engine and gearbox to come out. Right, okay, so that is the engine stripped down. So all the water system's gone, exhaust system's come off, turbo's gone, all the electricals have been unhooked. We're gonna open up the pit because what we're gonna do is bring the cradle over, take the weight of the engine, and then when we start lifting the engine up, having unbolted it, we're actually going to move the car, not the cradle, or maybe move the cradle a little bit because it's actually easier to push the car away given the space that we've got. Right, I think this is the first time I've actually recorded the underside of the car, so I'm going to show you what I'm looking at and how the engine and gearbox is laid out, as well as the fuel tank and where the fuel rails and the water system is going to go. So bear me 2 seconds. If you can see down there, there is a triangular shape in the chassis. That is where the blow molded fuel tank goes. And this recess that you can see in here, that is where we're running the water lines and the fuel lines are basically up above the bottom of the chassis so that they're protected in the event of going over a speed bump or something like that. But I have to put my own P-clips on there to basically hold everything in place. I might even make my own brackets that bolt onto the underside of the car. So what we're looking at here is, let's start at the top. Up here, you can see that you've got brake lines coming through with a T-piece in it. So at the top here, we've got our gear selectors. Then we've got obviously our gearbox itself. We've got our drive shafts either side that need to be bolted onto the gearbox when we actually come to run this up properly. And then obviously the engine at the back there. So very, very simple. That's the underside. I'm now going to go to these points here. I'm just going to take the main bolts off there either side. So it's just 2 bolts. We can then take the whole thing out. So let's go and do that. Right, so as you're looking at it, the engine is just sitting in place. There's no bolts holding it in, it is just weight that's holding it there. And the fact that the brackets on the gearbox end are kind of like slotted. So when you push the engine and gearbox in, there's like these plates that sit in these slots. So it won't sort of fall backwards and out of it even though it is weighted, but it means that we can now hook it all up to the engine crane and pull it out. Ready? Definitely. Right, I think when we put it down, we'll probably make the cable shorter, the chain shorter to the front so that it sits more horizontally. But I think I can probably push it so, because it's not too bad. So if you push the car with me, right, remember we've got to make sure we don't throw it into the front of the garage. How much space we've got at the front?
Loads.
Tell me when to start.
There's still lots of space.
Yeah, that's fine, leave that there. And that is how you take the engine and gearbox out of a DeLorean. And that took how long?
5 minutes to move it, probably.
5 minutes to get it out once we'd taken all the bolts out, bits and pieces. Simple as that. So yeah, so actually it's far easier just to actually roll the car out the way once we lifted it up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you very soon. Thank you very much. Bye.